Hello everyone, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. I am one of your lovely hosts today. I am noodle or pasta or udon or whichever variation thereof y'all are feeling like. And we are coming at you live in the AI server. As fair warning, this FPS happens after the Overblot plot finale, which is amazing and fantastic, and y'all should go listen to it. But yeah, this is massive spoilers. So don't don't listen to this game before that, or do. I don't control you. You can make your own choices, but you might have some questions. So have fun with that. Anyway,
We are not your dad.
yeah. I should certainly hope that I am not your dad. That would be weird. And speaking of a character who should not be anyone's father, I am bringing one Jubilee Yukon.
Why does that keep getting brought up in the Q&As?
I don't know. Looks at his source character. It's fine. We don't worry about this. He's No, it's fine. We're good.
Man, I keep forgetting that his source character is technically a dad twice over. That's fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. And absentee father. Juby's not gonna do that. He's cool. He's fine. He's chill. Um but yeah, speaking of the lovely voice y'all have heard cutting in, which is the voice of my very, very good friend, whom I love and adore, who is so talented and smart and creative, and always very, very fun to play this silly little game with.
Oh, I will bite you. I will bite you, and I will spill your blood on the pavement as a sacrifice to the gods.
Better
Hi.
make it. Better kill me in one shot.
I have teeth, motherfucker, and I'm not afraid to use them. Hi, I'm Gail. I'm also here. I'm dying. My friends kill me every time I am foolish enough to let them do the intro, but today, your boy ran dry of ideas. So I am here. I am here. I am still exceedingly shocked by how many people want to FPS with my boy post finale. But honestly, I'm not objecting. I'm having a lot of fun. Speaking of which, I am playing my boy today, one Yuura Audience, who is having a time. He's fine, 90%.
He's good.
That's a lie. He rolled a 1.
Oh, tragic. That's fine. That plays
He's
into
very
things.
eepy.
Mm-hmm. Uh, that said, shall we begin?
Yes, we shall.
All right. So then we should probably roll a proper one. Can I have a con roll or whatever it would be to see how awake one Yuura audience is?
Yes, you can. Let me roll this into my handy dandy little fancy Vegas chocolate box.
Wee.
Oh. Well, it's better than a 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's an 18.
That's pretty damn good. All right, that's fun. That's very good.
Yee, it's a
So
+0, so it's just an 18.
that is extremely fair. The lad wakes up, and
Yee.
in this room, as I'm certain things are quite cozy, quite comfy.
So many pillows.
Uh, Ironically, it's a lot later at night than Yura probably usually wakes up. And it wouldn't be from anything unusual or strange or even just something random happening elsewhere in the house. No, it's just waking up to the presence of someone nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And as roll a perception just to see how quick he notices. It's a very low DC.
Alrighty, Persepi. What the...
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I swear these dice aren't weighted.
Mm-hmm. The dice are being very nice to Yura, I see.
That's an 18 plus 7?
Good. Yes, you notice it very quickly. Um, because it is music that you don't usually hear that you take notice of.
Mm-hmm.
It is very quiet, and it's not an instrumentation you usually hear at all in this house, but you hear shamisen, which is very fun. I love the sound of a shamisen.
Eee. It's a very pretty sound.
Mhm.
And that kind
But
of like
yeah,
stirs him to awake.
yeah, and as you look, you see half folded on the bed, head resting on his arms, uh, sitting properly in a chair, if only because he's laid forward so much that the chair back just doesn't get in the way of the wings at all, uh, is your potion buddy, is Juby, who is fast a fucking sleep. Right there with looks like some kind of novel that he had been in the middle of reading that has tumbled to the floor from his hand.
Um, God bless him. Yoda just kind of blinks, and it takes a couple minutes again for his brain to come back online. And the first thing that comes out of his mouth is just a mumbled, "You're gonna fuck your back up 6 way to Sunday."
And Yara sees a twitch of ear feathers and a slight shift, and hears in turn, "Not gonna start. The bone like shit, and my spine works fine. Fuck you." And then, as the shamisen bleeds into more familiar acoustic guitar, sees Juby very quickly sit up. Like, "Oh shit, you're awake. Hi."
Hello.
Shit, I fell asleep. I didn't mean to. Oops.
It's fine. I can't imagine I'm very interesting to watch over. You're gonna be walking like an old man for a week.
No, I won't. I've slept in worse positions. This one was fine. I'm fine, and my spine doesn't work like that. I am built different.
You were bent practically in half. I'm surprised your spine didn't snap.
I have tune logic on my side. Also, I am very flexible because I'm good at my job.
Remind me
Anyway,
what that is
hi.
again?
Oh, I. It's not legal. That's all I can say.
Like, not legal in terms of, like, what? Like, you're not an assassin, right? I remember something about you
No,
being a criminal
no,
contact, but you're not.
I don't kill people. I don't. In this household, Yuura, have. In this household, do you think someone who kills people could be in this household? I'm pretty sure Camille would have my head if I got even close to that. No. I have done many, many crimes. Lots of crimes. Not murder. That one's not on the list. I'm really
Guess
not
you
in a
didn't
rush
get.
to add that one on the list.
Guess you didn't get to. Um. Yeah, that makes sense. He was still alive at the end. And Yoda is just kind of sleepy and just rubbing his eyes.
Hmm.
And he kind of big yawn, reaches over, grabs his hairbrush from the nightstand and starts brushing out his hair, and gives Juby a sort of sleepy, kind of playful smile. Just, "Hi, good morning. I was wondering if you'd ever show."
Oh, I've been here. Yeah, a good handful of times. I usually take the late night shifts.
"Yeah, but I never see you. I
Well,
was worried that you were avoiding me."
there is a wing that comes up and kind of baps Yura on the head. Like, "You
Ow!
dumbass. Why would I avoid you? Come on.
I don't
Avoid
know.
my body? After you put in all this hard work to make my coat look so nice."
Oh, yeah, you're wearing that. You like it?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
He
I'm
does
glad
a
I get to tell
little.
you in person.
He does a little happy clap.
Hmm.
I'm so
It's the
glad.
best it's looked in years. Honestly, better than when I stole it.
It just needed. He just gestures vaguely. It just needed, a little bit of extra attention.
Just a little. Probably a good wash of 3, at least.
7.
Yeah, that's I could yeah,
It
probably.
it took 7 to get the soot stains out.
Uh yeah,
And some of
it
it I
had.
did just straight up have to put in new fabric.
Yeah. In the back, probably. That was a big patch.
Yeah,
Surprised you actually got it back in one piece. Well done.
I'm stubborn and I'm good at putting things back together. He kind of
Yes,
gestures
you
at
are.
himself playfully.
Yes, you are. You're very good at it.
Thank you. I'm glad we agree.
I take it the others have been in and out.
Yep.
Good.
I don't know how often, but I know I've been awake
Mm,
long enough to talk to. And he kind of blinks and looks down at his fingers and starts listing.
mhm,
First was Crystal, I think, and then the professor, and then
mhm,
Camille,
mhm.
and then I think I also talked to Tom. Yes, I did also talk to Tom.
Good.
Um, and he does kind of blink and has and just laughs at the memory of that of just, oh yeah, right, because I have a dad now apparently.
Mm? Which one?
Huh?
Between the professor and Tome. Which one?
Oh, uh, well, Tom's the one who specifically basically asked to be my dad.
Fucking knew it. He actually asked out loud. That's progress. Good. I thought it was going to be another one of those. Oh, we all know that he did this, but we're technically not supposed to say it because he hasn't realized yet. Good.
Wait, like that thing that happened with Mina Mina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that took way too long.
I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to say the quiet part out loud, so I think I may have contributed.
No, that's fine. He's just a dumbass. I love him. He's a dumbass. Anyway,
Yeah.
glad he actually said it out loud. And
Yeah.
congratulations on getting adopted.
Yep. Still kind of wrapping my head around that. I don't know how that works here. It's complicated.
It's yeah, complicated, nebulous.
It's
It's
complicated, and I am too sleepy to put it together.
that's fair. Even awake, some people don't really get it. It's all right. But
And Yuura kind of yawns again and then smiles at Juby and kind of reaches over and boops him. I missed you.
hey, I've been around. Been
Yeah,
doing
but I haven't been
stuff.
awake to see you.
Well, that's not my fault.
Didn't
You're
say it
sleeping beauty
was.
here, having to get all your rest.
I don't want to be Sleeping
Tisk
Beauty.
tisk. Mm, well, good, because I need to stay the prettiest one in the household, obviously.
Eh, I don't know. Between the two of us, who actually has professional modeling experience?
You know, you don't need to brag about doing all the fun things that I want to do. Again, it's just, he's not aiming, but it's like feathers in Yura's face. It's like, fine then. It is absolutely the kind of like when you're messing with your friend.
Yeah, that absolutely just like ducks.
Mhm. It's like, get you next time. But fine, brag about it, why don't you? live all my dreams.
In my defense, it was kind of an accident.
Doubt.
No, genuinely. I had a classmate. Juby, you see the very,
Mhm.
like, slightest bit of a blush from underneath his mask as he just kind of goes into, well, whatever Vil was. Um,
Oh? The the one with the peacock. Oh, and he just kind of chin hands like, oh, hello.
he was a model and an actor,
Mm-hmm.
and at
Mm-hmm.
one point, he took me to one of the shoots that he was doing,
Mm.
and like pretty much everyone there, the people running the shoot really liked my eyes.
Mm.
And so they wanted me to join him, and I did, and it was really fun, but also really terrifying. I hate being in front of cameras.
Mm. Fair. At least your friend had good taste in friends. Well, friends, classmates, I don't know. That one, I'm at least slightly partial to thinking that they may have been someone interesting on the other side.
Yeah, Vil was really nice. Out of everyone there, he was probably the one who I could say had the closest to having his head screwed on straight. Like, yeah, he's
A
still
high compliment.
listen, everyone there was fucking nuts. Vil was
Yeah, from
Vil was
from
the
what I've heard, I can assume so.
yeah. Phil was the closest to having his head screwed on straight because, like, for the most part, he was a reasonable person. It's just he had shit going on because of lots of
Stuff.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have never once wanted to strangle a boy more than I wanted to strangle the dumbass who brought Baby Shark to our music competition and somehow won.
You know, I think you should have done that. I wouldn't have known anything happening, but I feel like somehow I would have just had random validation somewhere. I don't just you can tell just like looking at Juby. Um, dumbass went and decided to find another reflection in another literal different universe and is like, I have no reason to care about what happens to this person, but they went through the same shit I did, so I now decide that I care for them by proxy.
That makes Yoda laugh, and he like reaches over and boops Juby on the nose again.
Hey, come on.
What? You keep bapping me with your wings, I get to boop you. Fair's fair.
Mm. Mm,
I don't have
mm,
wings, so I get to use my fingers.
sounds like a skill issue on your part.
Oh, yes, because, it's not enough that I'm dealing with having my entire body redesigned around me. Clearly, I should also be growing an extra pair of limbs to go with it because that won't cause massive amounts of body dysmorphia. Clearly.
I don't know. As someone who had to regrow 2 limbs very quickly, I think I was fine. So you'll probably be totally cool with it.
You were made to have them.
Well, I.
You were regrowing
Mm,
them. You weren't adding them to
mm,
your body.
mm,
There's only so much me to go around, Jubilee.
so you're saying that there was more of me to go around then?
Well, yes, you have to have
But
something. You have to have more of you to house that much of an ego.
fair. But speaking of all that, you're
Hmm?
doing okay?
Uh,
I know Crystal's visited more than once, so.
yeah. Physically, everything checks out. Just mostly. He kind of winces and hand waves, trying not to think too much about the parts that freak me out.
Yeah, coming back from shit like that is not easy.
No. No, it's not.
Mm-mm.
And
But
I don't look like me anymore, and that kind of freaks me out. But it's fine. I'm sure it'll go back
it's
to
kind of a head
normal
tilt.
once this is off. And he kind of tugs at the fabric of his cloak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are kind of stuck in blanket jail there.
I am suffering, Jubilee. This is
Mm-hmm.
hell. This
Mm.
is soft blankety hell.
Mm.
I am being tormented, and you have no sympathy for me.
No, no, I don't. I think it's kind of funny, honestly.
Jubilee, I can't even walk. This is torture. I'm dying.
No, you're not. You're not dying. You'll be fine.
I am. I can't even walk around the house.
Well, if you want a change of scenery, you can just ask for a hand.
Please. I literally have not been out of this room since I woke up.
Fair enough, but we can't go far, otherwise the others, might have my head. Because we should be, and he does air quotes, being careful and letting you rest while you recover. And don't be reckless, Jubilee. Don't go pushing him into anything before he's ready. Because yeah.
Jubilee, I'm about ready to start climbing the walls. I assure you, I will take the bullet if necessary. Fuck's sake.
Incorrect. It's my idea. Anyway, uh, and Juby will stand up, move. Well, for one, we'll pick up the book. Do you want to have Yuura roll another Percepi? Just for
Absolutely.
fun. Hmm.
Well, we're one lower. That's a 17 plus 7.
Yeah. Uh, you notice I'm not going to try and spoof the actual title of this, but
Mm-hmm.
you notice that it is a gothic horror novel. That seems pretty fucking thick. And might even be a collection of several stories uh, by different people, which is very swiftly vanished into hammer space.
Yoda just squints at it and then squints up at Juby.
What? I can read. I'm not illiterate.
No, that wasn't it. Do we really need you getting more inspiration on how to be a gothic protagonist?
It's October. I need costume design ideas.
Wait, it's October already?
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah. I extensive planning for Halloween.
Man, I'm
This is
gonna miss
important.
Halloween this year.
Are you?
At this rate, and he kind of pouts.
I think we've got enough of a month for you to figure something out. Besides, I'm already designing 2 costumes at this point. I can probably add a third in there.
If I'm going to dress up for Halloween, I'm making my costume myself. I've done it for the last 3, 4, 5, God knows how long. I've done it a lot. I'm doing it again if I wind up having the time awake to do it.
Do you want me to bring you tea with caffeine in it? I can probably do that. See if that helps you stay awake.
Rolls the die. 19. Unfortunately, he is smart enough to know that that's a bad idea, and he just shakes his head.
Tragic. Alright, come on. And
Scoop.
I am not rolling strength. No, he is able to scoop. I invoke the power of tropes of Juby. Can absolutely carry. Totally cough. Younger siblings cough without needing to roll strength because he is oldest sibling.
He also Yoda is like really fucking light. It comes with not having any organs.
Yeah, that's fair. Yura is scooped up, and
There is a bit of a startled squeak, and he does like immediately grab onto Juby like, ah, oh, crying, born a
easy.
guy.
I said Here we go. That's enough warning.
You say here we go like every 3 sentences. It's
No, I
practically one of
don't.
your catchphrases.
No, it's not. Being built different is a catchphrase. Probably.
That's just a meme, Jubilee.
Well, it's good enough.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, we'll figure out some different catchphrase. Thanks the stars I don't have an intro thing like Camille does. Ugh.
Camille
Come
has
on.
an intro? Oh, right, he told me about that.
Yeah, his whole detective thing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he is a detective. And it is
Yeah,
a
but you
trope.
don't need to tell everyone that. Especially if you try and go like undercover or talk to people who might be suspects, because the moment you mention that you're a detective, as you know, as someone who is a criminal, the moment someone who's talking to me mentions that they're aligned with the law, I have two options. Either A, I start fucking with them, or B, I don't tell them shit. Probably a combination of the two.
Jubilee, aren't
Mhm.
most of your family members aligned with the law?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to understand why everyone is so insistent on roasting you.
No, that's just because I'm the family jester who jingles miserably across the hall. Do you not hear my bells? As he takes a few steps and you do hear the jingling of his jewelry.
Yuura will, like, giggle and imitate the sound.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And Yura is brought out into the hall as Juby is trying very hard to be sneaky and not let anybody else in the house know.
While he is
It's alright.
carrying a whole ass person that is wearing literal glowing clothing.
Yeah, he's, to be fair, he's used to sneaking around this house. Um, as he looks around, makes sure that the coast is clear. They don't have far to go. There is another doorway just a little bit down the hall that does have light coming from it. The door's cracked, but there's the familiar glow of golden light. That Yura has definitely seen that exact shade before.
And he kind of
And
blinks in surprise looking at it.
shh, it's a secret. Uh, Chibi says that before, quickly hustling down the hallway and into his room with Yura.
Jubilee gets, like, the little bit of, like, the widening of the eyes and then both hands over the mouth, just like, ooh, secret.
And as he goes in, there are no lamps or lanterns on, but it almost looks to be painted across his ceiling are swirls and constellations of stars, and occasional clusters of, you could guess, poppies and rosemary, but it all seems to be just painted in this glowing golden light across his ceiling.
Ooh. And Yoda
Don't tell
does,
the
like,
others. Mhm.
look up at it and tilts his head a little bit. You've got grave flowers on your ceiling.
Mm? Never
Poppy,
heard them called that.
poppies and rosemary. Well, that's because they're typically not, but they're both associated with the transition between life and death. Rosemary is used in ballet, specifically the ballet Giselle, as a symbol of the transition between the world of the dead and the world of the living. And then poppies are sacred to Hypnos, the god of sleep, who lives in the underworld.
Hmm.
Also, they have opium in them.
Well, yeah. Uh, I suppose these are a little different from your usual poppies. I'll have to ask Mum if they have opium in them. That would be weird. I mean,
Why?
I wouldn't be surprised, but,
Why would it be
well,
weird if they did? That's just what the plant makes.
I don't know. They might be a little different. Gilded poppies are I've never seen like them growing anywhere outside of, well, Mum's domain or places heavily associated with her. So, meh.
Yoda just like blems and sticks his tongue out.
Juby does the exact same. Like, meh.
And
Fine.
he does still just look up at it and say, "It's really pretty though. You're a good painter."
It took a bit of practice and some guidance.
Well, at the very least you seem to have gotten the hang of it, and he kind of like pokes Juby's cheek. Take the compliment, you silly goose.
Fine, fine, I'll take the compliment. Anyway, welcome
Thank you.
to my room.
It's very nice. Thank you for showing me.
Yeah, and I can describe a little, because, haha, well, we're just gonna keep rolling with stuff, because Yuura is awake enough to clearly see all the things. Those are some good-ass rolls.
Either he's awake enough to see all the things, or he's just sleepy enough that he's just in a state of not being able to focus and is therefore noticing everything.
But definitely one of the other things that can catch your eye very quickly is the absolute massive bed that is just piled high with pillows. It
Yoda
is.
looks at that and then laughs and says, "What, did they try to bury you too?"
No, it's just really comfy.
Oh.
Look,
Nest.
I need, yeah. And I need space for these damn things. And he stretches out one wing.
Yeah.
They can be really uncomfortable in your normal bed. But yes, Nest. And
Yoda just nods approvingly. Yoda is also a big fan of blanket nests, so he approves of your architecture.
and a few other things that, well, for one, Yuura is brought to a very familiar fainting couch that he has probably seen a few times. This one happens to come and go from Juby's hammer space pretty often.
Oh, good, you got it
And
back.
oh, this is a different one. This wasn't the one in Ink Space. I don't know where that one went.
You have several?
Yeah,
Why?
of course I do.
Why do you need
Different
more than one fainting couch?
because I go different places. They don't all stay in the same place. I have one for here. I have one for Dell's place. I have one with my sisters. I have one at Crowhelm. And
Crowhelm?
in my hometown.
Oh, fair.
I visit and well, I visit enough. And also my cousins think it's really funny. So for the bit I have to have it.
Gotcha.
I think there's one that just kind of pops up at random. I don't really know where it goes. I think it used to be at Aces, but now it's just like in the nebula. I don't know.
Maybe
It
that's the
shows
one
up.
that got left in ink space.
Maybe. I don't know. Probably. But and
Yoda
as
just
Juby
breaks into giggles because now he's just imagining a fainting couch floating along the surface of the ink space ocean.
we simply do not know what's become of it.
A single raft in the darkness.
That's what Crowley is stuck on now.
No, he doesn't deserve that much.
Tragic. He sees it pass by in the distance. Alas.
He is still in a box.
Yep. As he deserves. But there are 3 final things that are
Sorry
apparent.
for continually interrupting.
It's all good. Yura deserves to comment on things. There's a lot of stuff to see. There's a lot of stuff in this room. But there's one, a lot of shelves on the wall with a lot of different stuff that's been displayed. There's notably a few clocks there that really don't seem to match any of the rest of the room. and a few other things that all look fairly expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And Yoda just gives Jubilee a knowing look.
hmm And Juby just sits in, probably on a comfy beanbag that he has in this little sitting area, and just kind of preens quite proudly, because, haha, showing off his collection of stolen items, his trophies. And nearby to that is something that's a little odd compared to the rest of the house.
Real quick, I just have to,
Mm-hmm.
throw out Yoda's comment in my head of just,
Mm-hmm.
of course you have a fucking shinies collection.
Oh, that's not the Shinies collection. Hmm. You haven't seen the Shinies collection.
Oh boy.
That's in the closet. Yeah, because the other thing that does fit is a set of French doors that are just set into the wall. You can kind of see the room beyond. That one doesn't seem to have a painted ceiling. It's a bit dark,
Mm-hmm.
but you can probably guess that leads to the closet. And then the thing that's out of place, which is kind of an altar that's set with offerings and seems to have different levels to it.
Mm-hmm.
One has a intricately carved black candle. Um, seems to have burned down about halfway, and there's little trinkets here and there. A few black feathers around. The one at the bottom, uh, Yuura would notice a very familiar icon. That's the Twitch icon? Hello?
Yeah, he
It's
does,
purple and white.
pause in his looking around for a minute to stare at that, and it's just like, huh.
Mm, Pritch twine.
I beg your pardon?
Pritch. You know, like Tome occasionally has a pin that looks like that. Mm.
Does he? And Yoda
Mm,
blinks, trying to remember. Mm,
I think a time or two he's had it.
and then shakes his head of just, that is not the name I know that by.
Ask him about the Gamer God.
It's a god now.
He is.
He?
Yeah, he needs to touch grass more.
Uh,
Also, I
well,
thought
that
his
at
church
least
was a scam,
tracks.
but that's a different story.
Well, needing to touch grass at least tracks.
Yeah,
S-
yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna chalk this up to more uncanny weirdness and not think about it. This is going
hmm
in the don't think too hard about it thing
You
because
know, that's probably fair.
I know that symbol, and that is not a symbol of a god. That's a symbol of funny game streaming service that you stay up until 4 a.m. watching because the people that you watch live in other countries.
Mm, I mean, well, we'll talk about that later. Don't worry about that. Don't think too hard. This is not the time for that.
Jubilee,
Uh,
it's like 3 in the morning. If you break my brain, I think the others will eat you.
yeah, that's why we're not talking about it yet.
I'm
That
sorry, I don't
something?
know why he just handed me just. I think the others will eat you.
Yeah, that's fair. And at the very top is one that seems to probably be the main focus of this altar,
Mm-hmm.
because that glowing gold seems to come down the wall and frame it. And there is. I don't know if there would be a holy symbol. That's up to you, because you know who this is for.
I do know who this
Um,
is for.
but there are fresh flowers and little things here and there. It seems to be scraps of paper and notes and trinkets that are a bit eclectic, but all seem to come together in something that you'd kind of put together like someone bringing back something cool they saw for a parent. And it seems more familial than the other layers of this.
And he does tilt his head at that and say, "That part's pretty."
Yeah, that's for patron or mum. Kind of two of the three on my mom's, but it gets a bit complicated.
Two
But yeah,
whole moms.
yeah, it's that's she's also the one with the poppies and all that. Speaking of, as I explain this, and he starts rummaging around in his sleeve. Let's see if he gets them.
Oh boy.
Yes, he does, because he kept a bunch of those, and he is able to pull out the gilded poppy flowers.
Ooh.
As he explains, and he'll hand them over for Yuura to look over.
Mm-hmm.
They're kept very carefully preserved because, haha, hammer space.
Eee.
Mm-hmm. And, well, that's for Lady Retrospect. Goddess of memory, second chances, time. The good ending of a story.
Oh. I really
She's
need to learn more about the deities of this world. She sounds nice.
You know, she is. She can, well, I suppose a bit like myself, she can sometimes be little off-putting, but I think she means well most all the time.
I don't think you're off-putting.
He kind of does like a hand waving. The moment I start talking about how I died or anything with death, people look at me weird.
I mean, I can't really throw stones in that regard. And he, like, lifts his chin a little bit to tap the stitches in his neck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be careful with those.
I'm being careful.
Good. Don't be a dumbass like I was.
Nah, don't worry. You're not gonna need to get me a green scarf.
I read that recently. I know that reference. Yeah, no. Uh-uh.
Yoda just grins.
Like, mm-mm. No, that's illegal.
Look, Camille got on me about using terminology that references it, so I have to be more clever.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to
Yeah.
say that someone will have my head for something anymore.
But that's funny.
Exactly! But then Tome grounded me from language.
Well, Tome's a bit of a spoil sport, so... Look, as the definite expert on people who have died, having done so myself twice, I think you should be allowed to make funny jokes about it to cope.
See, you get it.
Mm-hmm.
I should be allowed to make it funny. It's fine if I do it.
Yeah. And if someone's an asshole and tries to make fun of you, then you just stab them for it.
I'm not going to do that.
That's fine. I'll stab them for you.
You're not going to do that.
Ugh. Never get any fun.
There are other ways to get revenge on people that don't involve committing a felony.
Well, consider I'm technically entirely I don't know. Well, I'm immune from being persecuted by the law.
Because you're dead.
Yup. I mean, I have some leeway with stuff that happens here, or if it's for Detective Moria, because I technically work for her, so some of my bullshit can fly under the radar if it's for that job, but mostly because I'm dead, yeah.
Yoda just snorts and, like, baps Juby on the arm. And then he, like, tilts his head and is just, and I forgot what he was going to say. Thank you,
That's
Brain.
fair.
Yeah, I just completely drew a blank. Thank you, Brain. Apparently he doesn't say anything. He just reaches over and
That's
swats
fair.
Juby on the arm.
That's fair. Could get distracted by because haha, funny segue. Someone who was probably in the room and finally woke up. Familiar to Yuura, hears a very croaky, echoey noise as you hear the click, click, click of nails on the floor as someone hops over and caws again, very grumpy about having been woken up, a certain crow on Blackberry.
Oh boy, let me roll my dice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my sweet baby boy.
Mm-hmm. That's why he lost his words.
That's an 8. That's an 8 on a whiz save.
Aww.
He, like, startles and jumps back.
She just looks accusingly at Blackberry like, now look what you did. You have to be polite and have manners, not just start immediately bitching at our guest. Blackberry is once again grumpy, but flies to a perch that's near the chair Juby's in and settles down and seems to starts preening their feathers while glaring back at the bird boy.
Oh god, I keep trying to I'm trying to roll to see how long it takes him to calm down from fuck, that's an entire bird. And he got a 3. So
Honey.
oh boy, you were very, very startled by first sign of a crow after Crowley. Oh honey.
That's fair. Juby will look over and be like, are you okay?
You get a very shaky thumbs up. Yep, all good.
Right.
Hi, Blackberry.
Yuura gets another little croak. Yeah, sorry, I forgot they sleep in here sometimes.
It's fine. They're your parole officer.
Yeah, yeah. They're very grouchy because I have been busy and haven't been spoiling them like usual.
Oh, well, we can't have that.
Yeah, I'm grumpy because they're not the favorite. It's fine.
What do you mean they're not the favorite?
Oh shit, that's right. I haven't introduced you to everyone. Would you like to meet all my pets?
Oh boy.
Oh, it's fine. Wait, animals. Different animals. Is there anything aside from crows? I think Columbina's a raven. That's her. And then Piero's owl. Fortune's jackal. Grim is a cat. Pyrite is a fox. And then Tidal is somewhere. Tidal's a fish.
Crows and really big dogs, mostly.
I think they'll be fine. Ravens are okay if you know they're coming.
Ravens are okay if I know they're coming. Honestly, crows are probably fine if I know they're coming too. Blackberry just startled me.
See, Blackberry, I told you, you need to start wearing a bell. No, I know you think that is demeaning, but I think you should, and it would be funny. Anyway.
If you, if they'd like, I could make them a cute little bell necklace.
There is a judging look from the old bird, and then a head bob of approval.
Yoda gives a little salute.
They have accepted your offering.
I think, let me roll hammer space.
Mhm.
Because, fun fact, when Yoda gets startled, one of the easiest ways for him to calm himself down is actually to do something with his hands.
Hmm. Believe me, he will have something else very soon.
Yoda, like, reaches into sort of the sleeves of his cloak and pulls out what looks like a little cookie tin
Mm-hmm.
that he then pops the top off of and pulls out, like, a couple of different ribbons of different colors, which he sets out on the couch to let Blackberry pick what colors they like.
Mm.
Uh,
And
then goes sorting through for a little bell.
yeah, they find their way down, and begin picking out colors. Uh, this bird's very picky, as they do. And soon enough, Yuura will notice one of those ribbons is getting batted at by a black paw, and there is a meow meow of a extremely fluffy black cat
Oh,
with
hello.
glowing orange eyes and not a thought behind them.
Aw, well, aren't you precious? Which one's this one?
That's grim. She's a sweetheart, and said cat, upon being noticed, will clamber up onto the couch and then onto Yura's lap, walk a few circles, and then sit down and start purring quite loudly.
Oh, I've been chosen, apparently.
Yep. Better stop petting her.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Right. Yes, boss, right away, boss. He will, with the practice of someone who has lived with a cat for the past 5 years, give Grim a little scritch behind the ears.
That purring just gets louder. This little kitty who is so much fluff. It is the most fluff ever. Is rumbling and very warm and very soft. And she's just hanging out. And also, funny thing to notice, where Juby is resting his chin on his hand, his bracelet no longer has the glowing charm on it.
And Yoda, like, looks at Grim's eyes, and is like, oh, I see. So she
Mhm.
usually lives in your bracelet then.
Lives in is she's kind of the same thing.
Hmm. I guess that explains why she looks a bit like a soot sprite.
A what?
Uh, I need to have a movie night with you people.
Yeah, please do. That sounds like fun. But I mean, I suppose it makes sense. She did come from a train's not engine, coal. Just because I like trains doesn't mean I know all the parts of them. Anyway,
You and me both.
sure. That she was from a very, very cool train from Halloween a year or so ago. And she can do a few things. Most of the time, it's just being helpful and cute and very warm.
She is very toasty. And that's coming from me, and you know who my previous roommate was.
Well, this one is not nearly as likely to demand tuna.
Oh.
I know, tragic.
And
I
here,
mean, I think she would just eat anything put in front of her, so I don't trust her like that.
yeah, there is not a thought behind those eyes.
Mm-mm.
This one would absolutely eat plastic.
Yeah, which is kind of funny when you put her next to Tone.
Hmm?
Kindred spirits.
What?
Oh, Tome's first name is Grim.
Oh.
So we have the adorable Grim, and then we have the old Grim. That wasn't intentional when I found it. That had to do with the other thing, because she can also turn into a badass smoke monster. It's neat. Most of the
Oh,
time,
like Grim Reaper then.
yeah,
That makes
I
sense.
swear I'm clever. I'm not the best at naming things, but I thought that one was quite clever.
Well, at the very least, it's easy to get.
Yeah.
And that makes it better
Then
than some of the more complicated, clever names out there. And he kind of
yeah.
wrinkles his nose, and Juvie, you can tell that that is a personal subject.
Juby thinking on the very complicated name of his sword that's like, we'll wait to introduce that one. It's fine, the sword with 80 names.
Listen, that
Like,
just means it'll be a great artifact of legend when Juvie eventually dies.
eventually. Yeah, Wisp will be. One day. I need to mark off a spell for later. As he stops and is like, okay, now the warning for the Horde. They're usually nice enough. They just kind of do their own thing.
Ah, Horde incoming. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Will kind of, like, pull his legs up onto the couch to sit crisscross applesauce with, Grim in his lap.
And Juby pulls out his pocket watch, and spellcasting focus will take. How long does it actually properly take? It takes about a minute. As on the floor in front of him, this golden glyph kind of unfurls like the hands of a clock having spun around. Until, for a moment, there are 4 shades that appear, and then those forms collapse into 4 animals. And there is a black jackal, a fennec fox, a raven, and a barn owl. And each of them mostly normal, but it's easy to see a few places here and there where these animals are clockwork. And all
Yoda.
4 of them
Sorry,
look
go
up
ahead.
at Yuura. You're good. It's just short. They all look up. And then uh, the fox and the jackal do a bow. The owl looks around a bit confused before the raven nudges that one into doing a bow along with her as well.
Yoda looks at them, looks up at Juvie.
Hmm.
Juvie, I don't have enough snacks.
Well, it's fine. It's fine. You lot don't you lot better not start begging, I swear. I will snitch to Mum that you did that. The horde seems to spread out and just get comfy in the space.
So, do they have names?
Right. So the 2 birds are Columbina, and he points to the raven, and Piero, the owl.
Wait,
Those
like
2.
the characters from the Commedia dell'arte?
Oh, good, you do know.
Of
Yes.
course I know, I'm from fucking Venice!
You're going to have to realize that a lot of places don't really translate over. What's a Venice?
That makes my heart so sad. It's the
You don't.
place that my dad's side of the family is from. It's
Huh.
where I'm from. It's kind of one of the places where the Commedia dell'arte is at its most popular. I don't remember if we invented it, but I know we popularized it.
That's fascinating. Genuinely. Well, good. And you're in good company with them. They're some of the... Well, they're the oldest too.
And he does
Decently.
give them a polite little wave.
uh, the Raven seems to mostly just be keeping an eye on things. Seems a bit more reserved. The Owl, once again, looking around before doing a funny little head bob and turning their head almost upside down, just looking at Yuura from a different angle and then the other one.
I think when the owl tries to like turn his head upside down, Yuura will like subconsciously try and copy and then wince like, ow, okay, shouldn't do that.
No, come on. Yeah, Pierre's a bit of a goofball.
Well, of course, he's named after a clown.
And then the other two, the jackal is Fortune and the fox is Pyrite.
Fortune and fool's gold, huh?
Well, they are suited to the desert, and you know, I happen to go out there now and again, and there's a city for gambling in the desert.
Ah, I see you cannot escape Vegas. No matter where you go.
There's... I'm going to just assume that's another parallel in a different universe and just nod my head like I understand.
Fuck off city in the desert full of casinos and, fancy shows and lots of vices.
Ah, yeah, sounds like Ace's City. Yep. That is Los Alluvia. Fantastic place. Very fun. I'm never bringing my siblings there, even though they snuck there once.
To be fair, of your siblings that I've met, I don't think many of them would be interested in that kind of environment.
See, you would think that, but Timmy, a menace.
Oh,
Leo goes fucking nuts for any kitschy tourist stuff, and there is so many of those shops there. And then Camille just likes to spite me, which means he loves to go places that I think he shouldn't be.
Well, from what I've heard, that's supposed to be the nature of siblings, isn't it?
For the most part. Some of them are very nice and agreeable. I miss our Anita. I miss Nita. She was a sweetheart. She did not menace me like my brothers. He just huffs, like, ugh. Siblings. But it's a very fond kind of like, ugh. The people I deal with.
Yetta just laughs at him.
Oh, come off it.
You
already
love them.
Yeah, I do. I wouldn't trade them for the world. Would like to, be the butt of the joke. A little less, just a bit. Just some respect in this household. I'd love to have some of that. Sounds wonderful. Never had it. Be nice though.
I'll do my best to come to your defense a bit more often.
Mm.
For as long
Please
as I
do.
wind up being in this house.
Mm. You might be able to do it. You can easily pull the "I was just recently rescued" card, so you have to be nice and follow what I say. I think you can get away with it.
I don't think I should pull that specifically. I mean, listen, sometimes you can just point out, hey, that's not a very nice thing to say. And people will go and straighten out their attitudes.
Might work.
It worked on the kids that I used to babysit.
Okay, the fact that, yeah. Okay, that would be funny. Actually, never mind. I think you should totally do that. Yes, that sounds like an excellent strategy.
Listen, it's amazing the kind of things that work simultaneously on kindergartners and full-grown adults.
Yeah.
Teenagers are a little more complicated, but it's hilarious the fact that so many things that work on kindergartners also work on, like, grown-ass men.
Yeah. Look, I'll admit I was a little shit when I was a kid, but some of the tricks that worked back then still work to this day on much older people. It's, on one hand, a little sad. On the other hand, thank God it works.
That gets a raised eyebrow.
Look, sometimes you're told to do tasks around town because you're supposed to, be an upstanding citizen and also you're the son of, the person who built the whole village.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also very lazy and want to go play with the birds instead of doing chores. So you just trick other people into doing them for you.
Oh, of course you're a Tom Sawyer type.
He just kind of grins. It worked really well. And I think Dad caught on, probably, but then again, he never stopped me because I think he thought it was funny. And also really ingenious because stuff got done much faster than if it was just me, so.
And you complain so much about being your family's court jester.
Well, I complain because it's funny to complain. If it actually truly hurt at all, then I mean I'd say something.
Well, that's good at least.
Yeah, I have that self-respect now.
Now? Jubilee.
You know that I had magical therapy for shit. There's things that happen that needed to be dealt with that are better. Mostly. We're working on a lot of things.
You worry me.
I've been told that by a great many people.
Yeah, well, have it stop being true then. Stop being worrying.
I don't know how.
Get get better.
I'm trying. I'm better than I was. I actually get a full night's sleep now. So that's one. And the food packed with Leo, I eat regularly as well. And I don't go throwing myself into danger, even if, I'm the most suited to be on the front lines of a fight. I'm better about that as well.
The bar is
And
on the floor.
and I don't go places without telling everyone. I make sure to do that.
So
Like,
you've gotten the bar onto the floor and out of the point where you're limbo dancing with the devil in hell.
yeah. It's a lot better than some of the other people in this house. Tome. Specifically Tome.
Yeah, he told me about what happened while I was gone.
Eh. How much did he tell you?
Blot infection. Um, Magic therapy stuff to help, I think.
Does it count as magic therapy if people are stealing? I suppose stealing someone's twisted desires does count as magical therapy.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Good to know that the spirit rogues are magical therapists. They should put that on their calling cards.
No, Spirit Rogues has a better ring to it.
Well, not just that. They might have something else.
And I rolled a 17 on the dice. So Yuura, like, it takes him a minute, but he is going to push himself up off of the couch and sort of, Very wobbly, but take a couple steps and then sit down next to Jubilee and lean against him.
There is immediately a wing wrapped around Yuura, and he just like, well, for one, good job on walking.
I'm not doing it again.
Congratulations.
That hurt.
Well, yeah, you can ask for help,
Yeah,
or
but I
you
wanted
know,
to
tell
try
me
it,
to
and
make
once I was on my feet, I had to do it at least once.
it. There is bucket clear casting. He would do it. JV cast Cure Wounds uses one of the charges from Lyra, just because you said that Yura said that it hurt. And he can heal that now, if there was anything that happened.
Yeah. I don't think it actually did any damage, but also I
That's
will give
fine.
you a little bit of flavor of just Yoda does relax at that a little bit and mumble a thank you.
Yeah. Even if nothing happened, it, you know, feels better to know that. Make sure.
Yeah.
Far more helpful than you would realize to have that spell.
I can imagine a healing
Magical
spell
bullshit.
would come in handy.
Yeah, it does. So much more often than you think. Not just for stupid pranks or showing off gone wrong.
Mm.
I wish it was just for stupid pranks and showing off gone wrong.
Yeah. The world would be a much nicer place if that was the only sort of thing anyone had to worry about.
Yeah, but
The find out portion of fuck around and find out.
yeah, don't like that part. That's not fun.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I never did get to thank you for showing up to help me.
Why
So,
would you need to thank me? Of course I'm going to.
well, because you didn't have to. None of you had
Yes, I
to.
did.
No, you weren't obligated. It was really nice of you to do.
Yora, you're my friend. Of course I'm going to show up. There's not even a question of obligation or anything. That's just what you do for someone.
Okay, well, let me show my appreciation for you anyway. You're terrible at taking positive reinforcement.
I'll admit it's I'm not used to it, but I'm working on that too.
Hmm. Well, then allow me to get you better in practice. Genuinely, thank you for showing up. I. I'm really glad you were there.
Well, you're welcome. Obviously, I wouldn't have missed it. Someone had to keep that lot from getting too far into the serious sauce. Get lost in the horrors.
Ah, yes. Go too far into the eldritch horror pit. And that's how you
Yeah.
get trapped in a box for 5 years.
Mm. 5 years is just a really shitty amount of time, you know?
Yeah,
It's just, that sucks. It's unlucky.
yeah. It's not even narratively significant. Like,
Mm.
7 years is the minimum.
Mm. 5 years is like, it's long enough to be an issue and for a lot of more shit to happen than you think would happen. Because surely just 5 years, not that much can happen. So much can happen in 5 years.
Exactly, but
Too much.
it's just barely short enough that it's not narratively considered an ordeal.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it was only half a decade of your life you're missing. It's fine.
Yeah. It's fine. Just a quarter of your life spent. Ugh.
Well, not a quarter of mine, more like a third, but...
See, it's even worse for you.
Well, what was your
Fuck no.
5 years?
He kind of pulls a face. Well, do you want the shortest version possible, or do you want some detail?
Whatever you're more comfortable with. I'm fine with story time.
Ugh. Well, in order, left home for the first time ever because I was running for my life, thinking that people were hunting me down to kill me.
Well, that's not
Uh,
good.
no. Also, had no experience outside of my hometown or how to survive in any capacity. So there was that.
Oh
Didn't
no.
bring anything but what was in my hammer space and the clothes on my back, so I was dead broke and had to very quickly learn how to steal and cheat. And also in the middle of, one of those delightful identity crises of mine of having tried to do a redemption arc, but turns out I was really good at doing shit that was not quote unquote heroic or fitting of a quote unquote hero's son. So there's all that.
By whose
Uh,
metric? I'm gonna have a fucking fight with the morals police again.
mm, it's don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure there's already someone working on that.
Well, where can I sign up? I will help them
It's
protest.
my hometown. Go to my dad's house, you'll find it. My Tio is the one leading the charge. That's
I I'm not even gonna ask why you apparently speak Spanish.
I is that what it is? Well,
Tio is uncle in Spanish.
yeah, that side of the family speaks it. I don't know why they do, so I just kind of picked a few things up. I don't understand it most of the time. Slowly figuring it out, but
I'd offer
that's
to
just a
help
step.
you, but I speak Italian, not Spanish.
Mm.
Which is like Spanish, but with like a couple words switched around and like a couple of letters off. Like they say Tio for uncle, I say Zio for uncle.
I'll ask you what the swear words are later. I need to learn how to swear in more languages anyway. I know how to swear in Infernal. That's as far as I got with that one. Spanish, we're working on it, and I want to learn how to swear before the kids. They probably already know, but I think it would be funny to teach them.
Of course, you're the type of person who teaches children swears, Jubilee.
It's funny! I didn't get to teach Timmy how to swear. He knew more than I did.
You're corrupting the youth.
Okay, to be fair, Timmy essentially corrupted me first, so that's all his fault. Anything from here on is all Timmy's fault. Terrible influence on poor little me. Yes, I know
Isn't he
he's my younger
younger than
brother.
you?
Yes. Yes. Yes, he is.
I, Jubilee, that just sounds like you were easy to peer pressure.
There is a beat of silence that is just a bit too long. So, did I mention, speaking of that, on my terrible 5 years, I did start a crime ring without meaning to.
How
I
do
mean,
you do that without meaning to?
well, initially it was a whole, take from people who have excess, and give to people who have nothing, i.e., myself, and the others I worked with, and things kind of spiraled out of control.
So you turned
Uh,
Robin Hood into a gang.
kind of. And then I got betrayed and I was thrown in jail, which sucked. And they took everything that I had gained. Also, somewhere around in there, stumbled in those. This is only the first 3 years, by the way.
Jesus.
stumbled into Future World City, found this weird lounge with this like guy who, I used to wear a beanie over the ears because, had to hide the only bird features. Couldn't really hear that well, was kind of soaked from the rain. Thought he said he was 30. Turns out 130 also was a god. I thought he was just running a funny scam. The Gamer Church. Sounds fake. Didn't believe it. But yeah, turns out Metagod. Um, also,
As one
broke in.
does.
Yeah, broke into this bakery. Kind of sucked at breaking in. Knocked over a display stand with cupcakes, and got found out by the sisters who ran the place. And they took pity on me because I was so pathetic and fed me, and now I'm kind of theirs. Uh, but that was a thing that happened. It's fine. They're
Can't
Fae. I
believe
ate
you.
the Fae food.
I can't
Hmm.
believe you're canonically a poor little meow meow.
Oh, you have not seen the pictures. They put me in a cat headband.
They
It's
put you
on
in a
display.
what?
The cat ear headband.
Oh my god.
Yes, they love the opportunity to show that picture at every moment.
I mean, that sounds like the kind of picture you do show off. That sounds utterly hilarious. I'm sorry.
Yes. If anything was ever in this world to keep whatever ego I may develop in check, it is that photo. But yeah, I also had a really cool collection of guitars at that point, but then the cops got a hold of all of them, and I don't know what they did with them, but they probably just trashed them or busted them up somehow, because they're fuckers.
ACAB.
Yeah, I'm at Ace, and I figured out my last name because that I thought again was so clever because here I meet this fucker who can actually beat me at cards and turn around all my tricks against me, and he says his name is Blackjack, and I'm like, what the fuck? Who has a name like Blackjack? But I can't say that because I need to be suave because he was hot. So I said my name was Yukon. And that just kind of stuck.
I can't believe you named yourself to impress a boy.
He was really hot.
He must have
Okay.
been.
Yeah, he was. Anyway, it's just you can't let the others know that's actually why I have that name.
Yoda grins and does like a little zip the lips gesture.
I'll hold you to that. If they found out, I would never live it down. And it works anyway. It's the I can still get away with it because I love solitaire. I'm the best at that game.
It's not a hard game to win, is it? You're only playing against yourself.
Not if you're playing competitive solitaire.
What?
Yeah, competitive solitaire.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
I don't
Yes, it is.
understand cards. And he's still like leaned against Juvie and he just puts his head in his hands. Just, I don't understand cards.
Just gentle pat on the back like it's okay. They're there. That's fine. You don't have to. I'll understand the cards.
Did you know my old boss actually tried to teach me to read tarot cards?
No, but that sounds cool.
It
I
was
think.
cool. The problem was I'm terrible at it.
Mm, I mean, you could probably ask Leo for tips. He reads tarot cards.
It's not necessarily that I didn't get it. I have all the symbols of the different cards memorized. If somebody who actually has intuition pulls them, I can tell which one's which. That's not the problem. I just have no sight for the future, apparently.
Hmm. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, it sucks if you're trying to do tarot. That, unless you're really good at fucking with people and just guessing what they want to hear, then it could work. It could probably work if you do it like that. And
Yeah.
You could probably make a killing with that.
Well, what's funny is I never had much of a gift for, telling the future, but I was really good at sensing the present.
Hmm.
The only
I
couple
mean,
times I managed to get a decent reading while I was working with Sam was when people would come in and ask me questions about things that were currently happening or ask for like a general reading. Because I could do that pretty well. I could tell like what was going on in people's lives before they ever told me pretty well. I just
hmm.
can't read the future. I have no inclination towards divination at all.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, until recently, I really didn't have any magical capacity, so it's a bunch of magical pecking bullshit. So he shrugs.
Eh, I I would like to not have magic. I miss not having magic. Not having magic was so uncomplicated.
Mm, not having magic is tough, though. Especially in a world where everyone else,
I
well, most everyone else has it.
I lived my entire life before I got kidnapped having no magic, and I was fine.
Well, that's a skill issue on my end then. I
Yeah,
hated not having magic.
yeah.
Suck.
I mean, in your defense, my world just didn't have magic in general. But
Yeah.
it was so much less complicated. My body didn't try to eat me until I had magic.
Well, yeah. That I don't have an argument for that or anything. Yeah. It's very useful but also brings so many problems.
It's also so weird. How does it work? I don't understand.
You're asking the wrong person. I have no fucking clue how magic works.
I am not
I
asking
just
for
yeah.
answers, I'm asking for commiseration. Magic is fucking weird.
Oh yes it is. Yeah, it's weird. Believe
Thank
me, I
you.
just kind of guessed to figure out how any of this works. Okay, well, and he stops himself as there is a huff from nearby as Fortune is staring at Jubilee. Okay, I may have had a little bit of guidance for some of my spells, because some people knew magic and were better, but most of them I just fucked around and found out, and it eventually worked.
Gods. Yoda just laughs and shakes his head, and uh, Juvie can tell that he's getting sleepy again.
Yeah, that's fair. He's just kind of settles, figuring, all right, do you want to hang out here until you fall asleep, or do you want to go back to your room?
Don't want to get up. You're comfy.
Yes, I know. I'm very comfortable. I'm not
Yes.
telling you that you have to do anything. I would be carrying you.
Mm. Julie, he like mumbles something that's trying to be an answer and just absolutely fails at even being words.
Yeah, Chewie laughs at that. Just quiet, extremely fond chuckle. Yeah, yeah. Keep your complaints to yourself.
I look at what I rolled pre FPS today. Like he was awake very solidly when he woke up. He is at the point of just he is warm, he is comfy, and therefore he is eepy.
Hmm.
Congratulations, Jubilee. You are being used as a stuffed animal.
Yeah, that's fine. He's chilling, and at one point, uh, the horde who settle around Columbina brings him a different book to read while he lets you just kind of snuggle into his side. And he keeps one wing wrapped around Yuura and just settles in, comfy. He'll bring Yuura back to bed in a little bit. For right now, it's chill time somewhere else, just for a little bit.
Yeah. They can be soft. It is good.
Mm-hmm. Soft and cozy.
Yee. Do we want to zoom out from there?
Yeah, I think that would be a great spot.
Yee. Thank you so much for playing with me. That was really cute. And also, I love these two just teasing each other. It's delightful.
Mm-hmm. They're
Thank.
goofballs, Your Honor.
They're dorks. They are absolute goobers.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much to our live listening audience. Thank you so much to our listening audience later. Let's all say goodbye to our listeners. Bye bye, listeners.
Bye-bye.